All right, recording has started. I am muted. Am I supposed to be hearing anything yet? So hopefully you can hear me. If you have any questions, because of the way that I have this set up, I'm not going to be able to see the chat feature. So you can email me at Ronda Broome at sciaps.com, or you can email me at broome1920@yahoo.com. So Broome with the E, the number is 1920@yahoo.com. So the objectives for this is we're going to create a presentation. We're going to be able to try to manipulate the slides through formatting, grouping, how to order them, transitions, and animations. Then I'm going to insert and format tables and charts on these slides. And then, of course, what would a PowerPoint presentation be without knowing how to present a slideshow? So we're going to start off with tips of creating a PowerPoint presentation. You see here there are a couple of pointers. Just figure out what you want to say and then create the presentation. Some people are really good at just opening up PowerPoint and just going right to it. Me, I have to have a plan. So what do I want my particular audience to learn at the end of my presentation? And then I like to do an outline and then from there create the presentation. Second bullet point is know your audience. If you know that your audience is one of those that like to have a lot of words on the screen, then create it with a lot of words. I personally like to be able to use short bullet points because as you see on the first one, people tend to read the slide as you're talking. So if you're one that likes to, folks tend to read a slide as you are talking. Paragraphs versus bullet points. Short language versus long sentences. I don't have to really truly read it for you because that is actually how you will lose people in the audience. That's when they like to, check their eyelids for light leaks, or they're praying because they have their eyes closed, those type of things. So that is why it's very key to know what your audience is. If you have an audience that needs a lot of engagement, make sure your slides are configured to that. If you have a presentation to where it needs to be very high level, very direct, then you can form your slides to that. You can structure the slides. 10, you want to have dark text with a light background. If you tend to have a dark background with lighter text, that's actually very difficult to see in a bigger room. So that is why the rule of thumb is that you tend to want to lean towards a lighter background with darker text. If you can, stay very uniform. And then if you are going to be presenting to a huge crowd, make sure that the font style and size that you use on the PowerPoint presentation really configures to that. So because I knew that everybody was going to be watching this on their computer screen, so the font style and the size that I did for this presentation really is for that. I don't know how many of y'all have attended presentations that don't have the word spelled right, or they use the wrong grammar. They use your instead of your. So they use Y-O-U''-RE versus Y-O-U-R. So please, 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 when you finish, check your spelling, check your grammar. And then this is my tip. Break the stereotype about how you want to do this presentation. If you are a fun individual and you want to show a little bit of personality, show a little bit of personality. I think it's fun. I think it breaks away from the monotony. And so these rules here are just suggestions. If you want to do something different, do something different. So let's get into what these different slides are. So these are your default slides. You have your title and content, your section header, and so we're going to go into some of these specifically, but please pay attention to the ones that say the word content, and then what a section header is. But these are different ways to be able to format your slides. So now let's go into actually doing some of these different things. So if you want, if you want to be able to duplicate a slide, so say that you really like the way that this one is configured. Hopefully everybody can still see my screen. From there, say I want to be able to keep this. What you can do is on the slide that you want, if you right click on it, there's duplicate slide. And so now you have two of the same slides, so now you can go in and change whatever it is that you want to change on this, and you don't affect the original slide. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that you can do is that you can delete the slide. So on the keyboard, you can actually hit the delete button. You can right click and hit delete slide. Whatever it is that you need to do, that is how that can be done. Also, what you can do is hide and unhide slides. So say you did your presentation, and as you see here, this one, if you're looking at the notes that you were given earlier, you don't see this slide. Well, that is because I was like, ooh, I can show you guys how to do this, or I can use this for another presentation. So if you see here, and hopefully you guys can see, the slides are numbered, and then I have a slash through this number 8. That lets me know that this slide is actually hidden. And the reason that when it's hidden, it will not show up when you actually try to present. So here I go. As you notice here, my next slide is not that format slide add watermark. If I wanted to unhide this, I can right click and hit hide slide, and what will happen is that it will unhide the slide. So do we also see how now it went from being grayed out to now it's not? And so that is how you don't, so this way you don't have to delete the slide, because you might want to use it some other time. It's just not going to be for this particular presentation. So what I did is I right clicked and I hit hide slide. And then if I want it back, I right click and I actually hit hide slide again, and it comes back. So pretty awesome. Now, oftentimes when you guys print out the PowerPoint presentation, in the top right-hand corner, you'll actually see a date. On the bottom right-hand corner, you often see the slide number or the number of pages or whatever page number this is. So say you want to actually add it to the actual slide. So what you can go to here is you'll go to, there's different tabs up here that you can use, and the tab that you'll use to be able to insert slide headers is literally the Insert tab. Then you'll go here to Date and Time. You'll go here to Slide Number. So if I want to add the slide number, after I am in Insert tab, I go here to Slide Number, and I can click Slide Number. And so now when I hit Apply, you'll actually see, if you can, the slide number right here in the bottom right-hand corner. You can also go to just Header and Footer, and it will also show this same menu, and I can uncheck slide number, I select Apply to All, and then it'll go away. If I just wanted the slide number to be specifically to that particular slide, I can just hit Apply, and it'll be to that slide. And then when I go here to slide 5, you guys don't see that number, but I go here to slide 7 and you see the number. Same thing for date and time. 2 ways it can be done. It can update automatically, so every time you go into this particular PowerPoint presentation, the date will automatically update. Or if you want it to just be the date that you were in there and that's all you want, then you can select fixed and then you can apply whatever date it is that you would like. So those are some really cool features. Another feature is inserting hyperlinks. So we all know that if I decide that I want to type in a website, so www.google.com, and I hit enter, when it changes color and is underlined, that's a hyperlink. But what happens if I want to be fancy and say, okay, I actually want to, when I am on this slide 7, I actually want to be able to, when I go to slide 7, go to slide 14. Say I want to be able to manipulate doing that. How do I do that? I'm so glad you asked. So as you're here, say I want this hyperlinks. When I click on this word hyperlink, I want to be able to go to slide 14. 2 ways you can do it. You can go here to insert, and under insert, you'll see here under links, there's a drop-down menu. When you hit this, I can link it to documents. I can link it to, but for this example, I want to link it to a particular place in the PowerPoint presentation. So under insert hyperlink, I'm going to go to place in this document. When I select this, now you see all of my slides here. And so from here, what you can do is say, okay, again, I want to go to slide 14. So I'll click slide 14. It'll show me that particular slide, and I will hit OK. And so now, got it. And so now, as you see, it changed color, and I have the underline. So when I go to my slideshow and I select this, I go to the slide that I said I wanted to connect to. Pretty cool. If I do not want to do that, and it's like, oh, I messed up, I actually want to link this to a document and not a particular place. No problem. We can go up here to insert. Again, we can go up here to link, or for those that like the mouse, if you are over the word, highlight it, right click, and then you'll see the same thing, which is, well, because we have a link, so let me do this. We can go here to link, select it, and then it'll take us back to where we were. If I want to remove this, I can double click on it, or I could just single click to where I'm actively over that particular word and right click, and now I have the option to remove the link or to edit the link, saying that, you know, so that's pretty awesome. Action buttons are even something that is even more fancy, to where, say that you want to go back to the objectives. And so I know some of us like to be able to say, okay, I'm here, these are my objectives, so I want to be able to dock and remind you guys where I am in the presentation. So how do I do that? Well, you can actually use the link that we did before, or if you're visual, you can actually use a action button. So where do I find action button? Because we're going to insert an action button, we are actually going to be still under the Insert tab. From Insert, you're going to go here to Shapes. When you hit this drop-down menu for Shapes, as you see, I have recently used shapes, lines, rectangles, basic shapes. All the way down at the bottom, what do we see? Action button. So I'm actually going to use the action button to take me back to the home screen. So I'm under Insert, I'm in Shapes, I go down here to the section for Action Button, I'm hitting the Home, I'm going to put, all right, let's try that again. Shapes, Home, I'm going to put a Home button right here. And so what happens is now that I have the Home, a menu pops up. So how do I want this Home action button to work? As you see here, it will hyperlink to the first slide. If I didn't want it to hyperlink to this first slide, I can actually link it to wherever I would like it to. Because it's a Home button, I do want it to go to the first slide. And how do I want this? Do I want it to play a sound? Yes or no? Do I want it to be on a mouse click, so I will physically click on this? Or do I just want to hover my mouse over it and it'll go to it? So this way that I am in control, I want it to be a mouse click. So I'm going to hit OK. And again, I didn't mention this before, but this is the creation mode, is what I like to say. So anytime that you are configuring or adding or doing transitions or adding animation, you will not truly see it here. You will need to play the slideshow in order to see it. So here, you see my action button. So when I click on this, it goes straight to the home page. So another cool feature of being able to manipulate in PowerPoint. The fun part, this is the part that makes it so easy in PowerPoint. So say we all are in Cancer Committee. You want to create, somebody gave you their slides. What probably happens is that you will take their presentation and copy and paste it into yours. When you do that, what typically happens? You lose the way that they actually had their PowerPoint. So they might have had a different background, or they might have done different fonts, or they have different fonts than what you have in your PowerPoint. So let's just make it easier. Let's just insert their slides automatically. So what you can do is, depending on where you want the slides inserted, I'm going to insert it before my title slide. So as you see, I don't know if you can see, but as I click in between the slides, there's like a red line. That lets me know exactly where I am. So now what's going to happen is that I'm before my title slide. I'm going to go to this, I'm under Home, and you see here where it says New Slide. I'm going to select this. I lied. It's going to be Insert. Is it Insert? I'm pretty sure it's Insert, and you're still here. Okay. Forgive me. Okay, let me come back to that. Because I don't know why I'm having a brain fart, but it is definitely still very, very easy to be able to insert slides. So I apologize. Shame on me. I will come back to that. So Another thing that you can do is you can group slides into sections. So this is very similar to organizing in a folder. So the sections is like an outline. So you can group similar slides together. So what you can do here is say that, okay, I know that I have transitions and animations are together. So if I want to group those two slides together, I will move my cursor above transitions. I will right click, and you see here where it says add section. So when I add a section, right here now you see it says untitled section. I can name this now, so I'm going to name it Transitions and Animation, and hit rename, and now I have transitions and animations here. And what happened is that all the slides are now going to be under this transitions and animations. So when I collapse, now all of those are grouped together. Say, okay, I really only wanted these two slides there. That's fine. So what we can do is select these two slides, right click, add section, and now these two particular slides will be in that section after I name it. So that is actually pretty awesome. If you have to have people do their own particular slides, you can say, okay, this section is going to be for you, so you please do this section. I hope that made sense, but it's actually just a really cool feature. And then if you want to be even fancier, that's what this section header is. You can add this section header, and it will be aligned with that section that you had. So it's just a different way to organize your slides. Now let's go to the fun part, your transitions. So we've all seen it to where the slides themselves will come in different ways. Transitions are specific to the slide themselves. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. Under the Transitions tab, you'll actually be able to come here and transition. If you want the transition or the way that the slide comes into the slideshow to be different slide to slide, then you can pick one slide and say, okay, maybe I want this to come in random bars. So now it gives you a preview of how that transition is on that particular slide. You can change how, so this one I chose is shape. So the shape that it's doing, it's coming in like a circle. Say I want it to come in like a diamond. And you saw how the diamond effect options does. Say I wanted to come in as a plus sign, and you saw the fade in as a plus sign. If you want this particular one to apply to all the slides, you can hit apply all. If you want the next slide to come when you click, then that's what this on mouse click is. If you know that you're going to be talking for a particular bit and then you want the slide to automatically come, then that's what this advanced slide after is. So after a certain amount of seconds, it will automatically transition to the next slide. So let's test it. So I said here, after 3 seconds, I want to go to the next slide. So I start my presentation. You saw how it comes, blah, blah. And now, without me clicking, it went to the next slide after 3 seconds. So that's pretty cool. If you're like, you know, I really don't care how my slides transition, I want PowerPoint to randomly select. No problem. You go here to transitions. This little drop arrow here for more, you actually can select random. And then it will automatically do it. And then you can hit actually apply to all the slides. In here in the slide panel, when you see a star, that means that this particular slide has either a transition or an animation associated with it. You can also go here to slide sorter. So it can either be under here, View tab, Slide Sorter, and this will give you an overall view of all the slides that you have in your particular presentation. And again, here you'll see that I have the stars because that lets me know that these particular slides have some type of animation, whether it's a transition or I did an animation on the actual slide to which we're going to go to now. So under the animations slide, animations, you see here how it's all grayed out, because that lets you know that animations is only available to work on what is on the slide itself. Transitions is specifically for the slide. Animations is what's on the slide itself. So it's not going to work under slide sorter. So you can go here to view and you can go to normal, or you can hit the shortcut that's at the bottom right for normal. And now when I go to animations, you see now it's not grayed out, because now I'm on the particular slide to add the animation to. So what is animation? This is how it appears on the actual slide. So what I want to do is, and a tip for this is that if you have a question and answer, so you want the question to pop up first, give everybody a chance to answer or to think about the answer, and then you want the answer to flash. Instead of creating two different slides, you can actually just have one slide that will have all of that on there. So let's go here. Actually, let's just create a slide. So I'm going to just go in the middle. I'm going to go to either under your Home tab or your Insert tab. I'm going to add a new slide. Let's add a content slide. And so here is going to be, what is the question? Here we're going to say this is the answer to the question. I'll make it a little bit bigger so we can all see it. I'm going to get rid of the bullet point. And so what I'm going to do is saying, okay, I want what is the question to be on the slide itself. And then I want later, this is the answer to the question to show up. So as you see now, both are on this slide. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up here to Animations tab, and we're going to say Add Animation. And so because I want this is the answer to the question to come later, I want it to make an entrance. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to say let it fly in. So that's pretty awesome. So now when I hit here, what is the question? You think about it, and then now I want to display the answer. When I click, the answer comes up, and it flew in exactly how I want it to. Say that you don't want to do it on the click, you want to do it after a certain time. So say you give the audience 3 seconds to think about it, and then it will automatically show. It's over here in timing. Right now I have it to start on click. Now what I want to do is say, no, with this, I want it to come afterwards. And so now I'm going to move this duration. So how long do I want to wait until this particular thing comes in? So I'm going to say 2 seconds. So now when I go to Slideshow, what is the question? Waited 2 seconds. This is the answer to the question. So that is actually how you would do animation. There is an animation pane that you can have to where if there was numerous things on here, so if this is the answer to the question, oh yeah, that is the answer, question mark. Now you see here that you see the first one, this is the answer, and then oh yeah, that is the answer. My 2 things are here, so I can animate these separately, or I can say, no, I want these to be animated together, but this is how you're able to set. And I will take questions towards the end. Again, if you need to ask me a question, you can put it in the chat, or you can email me at broome1920@yahoo.com, and I will leave time at the end to be able to answer any questions or go over anything that you need. So do you remember at the beginning I said, okay, there are certain slides that you can manipulate that I wanted you to be able to pay close attention to. So this slide with content, that is where we are, slide 14, and that's what this looks like. So you can actually create or embed a table, you can do a chart, you can do a smart graphic, you can enable a picture that from your personal computer or online, or you can embed a video. Because of what I was asked, based off of the survey that we sent to the GATRA members, we wanted to be able to tailor a presentation that would be helpful with Cancer Committee. So now we're going to try to see if we can format a table. So, because I am one that likes to be able to show real time, you have the notes. As you see here, I have the layout to where it's a title, and this is a comparison table. If I wanted it differently, I can go here to Home. Under the slides, there's one called Layout, and this is where you can change what the layout is. So I actually just want to have one particular piece. So I go here to Layout, drop down arrow, and I'm just going to say title and content. So you see here the icons that were there before. And so I'm going to create a table. So I'm going to select Insert Table. How do I want the table to be? Sure, let's do 5 columns and 3 rows. So I'm going to hit OK, and it's automatically configured. So now here I can type, 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 type. Say I don't like this color. I can go up here to Table Design, and I can change the table style. I can change the colors, say that I like blue and I want to just change this one particular cell to blue. I can. And you can do that to emphasize a particular point, or say you want this entire last row shaded because say that's your grand total. What I did is I selected the entire row. I go here to shading, and I pick the color orange because that's my favorite. And then see, This is still formatted the way that you would like, but now I have a whole row that's a different color. Say, gosh darn it, I only have 3 rows, but I need to continue on. You can go up here to layout, and then here you can add rows. Say I want to add a row above the row that I'm in, which is this last one. I can hit above, or I can insert below. Say, but I didn't want all of these that color. You can do one of 2 things. You can either go to the row that has the color that you want and insert below, or you can also highlight, go back to table design, go back to shading, and say that you don't want anything and you just want it blank. You can go back here to no fill, and then it'll change it to where now you don't have it. Okay? So that's pretty cool with the table. So you can actually do the same thing for a chart. So I am going to insert a new slide. What do? I'm under Home, New Slide. I can pick, let's just do a 2 content one. And so now I can do a table on this side and maybe display it as a chart over here. So I'm going to go Insert Chart. And now I can pick whatever chart that I want to pick. Normally the things that we do are a bar chart. So I'm going to hit OK. And now you'll see that it configured to this one particular space. And now I have chart in Microsoft PowerPoint. So now I can go here and say Objective 1. I changed this, and so now when I click here, and let's say I want to do, let's see, 5.3, 5.2, 4.3, and I don't know if you notice, as I change, so does this chart automatically. So I'm going to go here to Category 2 and change these numbers and see if you see these change. So 6.0, 9.8. And as I go, not only does this format for you, but this automatically updates as well. So that's pretty awesome. And that's why if it's a small thing, I'd rather just create the chart and create the table right in PowerPoint. If you're like, oh, I actually need to switch these two, the switch row and column, if you hit it, it'll switch now. So now Series 1 is here on your x-axis instead of these categories. If I go back, then this is there. Say you're in it, you're like, okay, oh, I actually didn't want to get out of this. I need to change the information that's here. No problem. Just go up here to Chart Design and then Edit Data. Chart Design, Edit Data, and you can hit Edit Data, and it'll come up here like you saw before. Or if you're one of those that really likes Excel, you can hit Edit Data in Excel, and it'll pull up your Excel spreadsheet. Perfect. Last but not least, we want to configure and present a slideshow. So when we're under the Slideshow tab, there are a couple of sections. We have Start Slideshow, we have Setup, and we have Monitors, and Caption and Subtitles. To start a slideshow, if you want to go from the very first slide, you hit from Beginning. If you want to start at your current slide, you hit here. Another fanciness is that if you want to do the slideshow on a web browser, you would actually hit Present Online. Or say that you have a slideshow that you want to show, and then you have a slide, and this is such a good one, you took a long time to do it, but now you want to edit it a little bit, or you only want to be able to do particular slides. You could go in here and do like we did earlier, which is right-click to hide it, or say, no, I really just want this slideshow to be for 5 slides. You can go up here, File, Save As, and choose, but you don't have to when you have Custom Slideshow here. So when you select Custom Slideshow, it'll ask you, I want a new show, and now you can say, I just want to present slides 1, 6, 7, 16. Once you create a name, so new slide show, I want to add just those slides. Then when you hit OK, and you just want to show this slideshow, now slides 1, you notice that this is not the regular slide 2, this is the slide that I selected. So when you have Custom Slideshow, you can create, based off of the hard work that you've already done, selecting particular slides. So say I want slide 5 in there now, I can hit Add. This will create a custom slideshow for you, so you don't have to do a totally new slideshow based off of the slides that you already have. So this is actually a really, really cool feature of PowerPoint. Also, we all have those people at Cancer Committee that aren't able to show up. So what are we left to do? We are left scrambling to try to see how can we present these slides for this particular person. Within PowerPoint, you can actually record the presentation using your voice, using how you want to advance the slides right here. Under Slideshow, this Record Slideshow, record from current slide or record from the beginning. What will happen is that, say I want to record from the beginning. Now I am under, hopefully you guys can still see this, I am under my presentation. I can go up here and hit record, and when I hit record, it'll give me a countdown. And so now I am actually live recording this presentation as a slideshow. Down here it tells me what slide I'm in. It also gives me how long I've been on the slide, and then the running time of the actual presentation. So when I select the next one, as you see here, now because I'm on the next slide, this went back to 0 to let me know, okay, this is how long I've been on this particular slide, but this is how long I've been talking for the entire presentation. Once I'm done, I hit stop. I can replay what happened. So I was able to repeat it, and if I want to keep it, great. If I don't, I can go here to clear recordings on all slides. It'll do that. I can X out, and then we're back to the beginning. Again, if you are attending, please mute yourself, so that way you're not disturbing others. This also includes muting yourself on your computer. That would be super helpful. If you are presenting at a conference or you have to hook up your computer to a projector. When you hook up your computer to a projector, oftentimes your computer will go into presentation mode. What presentation mode does, and because I'm not hooked up to a projector, I can't show you, but what will happen is on your computer screen, you will see the current slide that you're on, the notes, if you wrote any notes on the slide, and then your next slide, as well as the running time of your presentation. What the audience will see is just your one slide. If you are ever presenting and you're in presenter mode and people can see all of what's on your screen, all you need to do is go here to Slideshow, this Use Presenter View, you uncheck this, and then you start your slideshow. And what will happen is that what is on your screen is what they will see as well. So this is super helpful just in case you ever get into a bind to where folks can see what's on your screen. If you want to be fancy, then you can use presenter view, and in that way the audience will see one thing and your computer will show something different. So now, as we have 5 minutes left, I want to tell you about a bonus content. Is that you can actually add slides from a Word document. What? So remember at the beginning to where I suggested is that figure out what you want to say, then create a presentation. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up Word. And what you go to is when you're in Word, you're going to go to View. And under View, there is Read Mode, Print Layout, to which we're all used to seeing. Then you have an option called Outline. And so now I'm going to say create a PowerPoint presentation. And I'm going to have objective 1, objective 2, and then here I'm going to say slide 2 and slide to content or something. So because I am under the outline view, I am going to hit File. I'm going to save this file. I'm going to put it under GATRA Webinar. Create a PowerPoint presentation is the name of this outline. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this outline, and it's going to go ahead and create the slides for me. Let me show you how this is done. You can go to Home for New Slide, or you can go to Insert New Slide. When you do this, you see Slides from Outline. So when I do that, I'm going to select Slides from Outline. It's going to pull up my computer. This is the outline I just created in Word that you guys saw, where it said create a PowerPoint presentation, objective 1, objective 2. So once we hit insert, give it a minute because PowerPoint's going to configure it. So here you see PowerPoint is converting create a PowerPoint presentation document. And now look, create a PowerPoint presentation, objective 1, objective 2. And then I had another bullet said slide 2 and slide 2 content. So now, if you're one that likes to type out what it is you're going to do and then create your PowerPoint presentation, that is a way to be able to try to do it. So what I did is I went into Word. Let me do this. I went into a Word document. I went to View. From View, I went to Outline, created my outline, saved my outline, went back to PowerPoint. Under Insert or Home, I went to New Slide, Slides from Outline. I found the outline and I hit Insert, and this is what you see. So this is, like I said, it's bonus content. And so then this is, I always thought this was a really, really awesome feature because I am one to be able to try to write out before, before I like to try to do an outline prior to creating a presentation. So, does anybody have anything? Oh, I got a text. Okay. I think I was loud enough. So hopefully you guys were able to hear me through this. Okay. Oh, I got another text. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this was the insert slides from another presentation. Thank you. So what you'll do is you'll go here to New Slide, and you'll go to Reuse Slides. And when you go to Reuse Slides, you can go, you can look at a recent PowerPoint presentation that you had before. Okay, of course, my computer wants to be goofy right now. And so here, you can select slides that you, goodness. And so here I have the membership presentation that I'm going to do for GATRA right here. And so I can hit, okay, you come in. I can choose these slides, and I can say I want to insert this slide, and boom, insert this slide, and here I am. And so now it kept the same format that I had previously, that I have on the other one. So yes, thank you for that text message. So you can go to Reuse Slides. Well, let's see, you can go here to New Slide, and then Reuse Slides, and then you can take it from your PowerPoint presentation that somebody gave you. Yes, great question. Okay, all right, I received an email question asking me to go back through the how to format a chart, so no problem. So to format a chart, you need to make sure that the layout that you have for a new slide says content on it. So you have title and content, you have to content. This is comparison. I know it doesn't say the word content, but this is one as well. And then content with caption. So if I wanted to do a chart here, I would do insert chart. And you can do all types of charts. Insert, you hit OK. And then it will configure to exactly what it is that you want. and you can use chart design and format to make it as fancy as you would like. And when you do it this way, when you change the numbers here or change information here, it will automatically update here, which is another reason that it'll make it nice. Okay? And then you can add chart elements such as a title, data labels, legend. Another question that I just received is, can you insert a chart that was already done in Excel? Yes, you can copy and paste it right where you want it. There's also a way to link what is in Excel to here, but that was going to be for another time. However, I do have a slide here that talks about it that I will be more than happy to be able to send if you guys really want it. But this is how you insert a link chart and table. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet to where you already have, then this is the way to do it. So I'll be happy to forward this on. But this was a slide that I hid. Good question. Okay, so we are at time. Thank you so much for attending. Again, you will receive a survey. Please be honest. Please be open. This is how we know what to be able to give our membership. This was something that people wanted to be able to do, to enhance their presentations with Cancer Committee. You will receive 1 NCRA CE credit for this. And I thank you for your time and have a great day.